So I'm doing something fun this weekend.
What are you doing, Bridge?
I'm gonna see Chelsea Handler.
Oh my god! And her Koslopis? Sorry, I couldn't resist.
All her jokes and her tour, whatever like her latest comedy tour is. She's coming to Chicago, and one of my friends got divorced. And I was like, fuck it, let's party.
I feel like she's a good post-divorce
That's
person,
what I'm saying.
Probably. Yeah.
So I just sent it to my friend. I was like, can I celebrate with this? And she was like, yes.
Yay.
And I'm pretty excited. And I don't know about you, and maybe it's just my age group, but I feel like Chelsea Handler is a character that I have like heard for so many years that when a celebrity's around that long, you feel like you like know them.
Yeah.
And I'm intrigued physically in the flesh if I'll feel the same way.
Did you read her book?
Oh, I've read all of them.
Oh,
like,
okay.
I just feel like, I don't know. She's so easily can get connections from people. And I've never ever seen her live. So it'll be interesting if I feel the same way or if it's weird, you know, and you're like, oh, not the same.
If somehow you get a chance to talk to her, you have to tell her our theory. Do you remember our theory about her? We talked about it on the podcast.
Oh my God, we did talk about it. What? I forgot.
It was when we watched the Barbie movie and we said, is Chelsea Handler actually Barbara Handler? And, AKA, is she a real like a Barbie that came to the real world and was like, I like having sex, and this is where I need to be.
I wasn't sure what I was going to wear, and now I'm wearing my Barbie shirt. Wow.
Yes.
Perfect.
Sisters who've seen it. We are the sisters who've seen it. Sisters, shooby-dooby-doo-wop, sisters, shooby-dooby-doo-wop, sisters, sisters who've seen it.
Hello! Welcome back, listeners.
We got a category, F5, coming down northwest, take a turn right.
Woo! I swear, I didn't understand half the things that were being talked about in this movie, but all I knew was they were urgent. That's all I got. Okay, but I'm gonna tornado swoop us in and introduce ourselves.
Okay,
in case you're new here, listeners. So, we are the Sisters Who've Seen It, the podcast where two sisters who are not movie critics look back on some of our favorites throughout the years through a psychological, ethical, and familial lens. I'm Katie.
I'm Bridget.
And, where is it? I gotta go, Julia. We got cows. And this is very apropos because this was recommended not by Julia, but by Julie.
Hey, thank you, Julie.
What's the movie, Bridget? I didn't even say
it is from 1996, Twister.
Woo!
Kate, I texted you this, and I might have had an edible / couple glasses of wine, but
that makes more sense.
I still
okay.
I know. I still feel the same way sober. I think this is my second favorite movie of all time.
Bridget, are you a storm chaser? What's happening?
When we go through this,
you drank the Kool-Aid.
I drank the Kool-Aid. And
wow.
I might quit my job to chase tornadoes.
It seems so safe. So just wow. I would be Melissa if you do that. I would be like, let me just do a therapy session on the phone in the back seat. Bridget's yelling on the walkie-talkie.
You actually would. I actually, this matches our personality.
I was going to say, we could recreate it and play the characters.
Oh my goodness.
Oy.
Oh my god. This surprised the hell out of me of how much I loved it. I loved every minute. And you know why I know I loved it so much? Because I started taking notes and then just didn't. I was so into the movie. It was like 30 minutes in, and I thought, oh my god, I haven't even taken notes. And then I thought, I don't care.
Who needs them?
It is my synopsis.
I was going to say, you and your love. I think it's time.
Helen Hunt and Bill Paxton play scientists pursuing the most destructive weather front to sweep through mid-America's Tornado Alley in 50 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's right.
Yeah. Let me tell you about Helen Hunt, okay?
Tell me about Helen
Babe-alicious woman, okay? Woo. The hair, everything. Love.
Feathered hair, yep.
God, this movie is so good. Like, I'm sorry, it's so good. Okay, so first off,
I'm just every 2 seconds. I hope you say that. So that could be the drinking game.
This is my new wow. It's so good. We, like every great movie, get right into action. And we learn that Bill Paxton, who is named Bill.
Thank God.
And Helen Hunt, who is named Joe, they are in the midst of getting a divorce. Bill is going to be marrying a new woman named Melissa, who is a therapist. And so he used to work with Joe, and she leads a team of basically tornado chasers. He seemed to be a part of the party. Now let's say there's like 10 of them in this crew, maybe?
I swear every time I blinked, Bridge, there were more of them. I can't keep up. I don't know.
So many. And
there's so many. It never ends. It's like a clown car.
He shows up, and it just so happens to be this miraculous, in 50 years, there's never been the most epic storm tornadoes happening ever. He shows up and he goes, "You gotta sign the divorce papers because I'm marrying this woman." And right away we have conflict. She is coy and she's like, "Well, here's the papers. I'm busy. I'm chasing, tornadoes." He then realizes that once the tornadoes come, this crew, they're faster than what's the Jimmy Johns? I mean, they're freaky fast. If there's a tornado, they're in the freaking car.
Damn,
and they're out of there
flying.
I'm telling you,
holy shit!
This is the most intense DoorDash crazy shit ever. So he wants her to sign it. There's a tornado. She's out the door. He's like, "Fine, I'm coming." Then, his old job love comes back and he's like, "Damn, I love chasing tornadoes." And the whole thing they're trying to do is they want to give more advanced warning time, because in 1996, it was only 3 minutes. A tornado can come. You only have 3 minutes advance. With their technology, you could get 15 minutes. Now, that's someone getting to a storm shelter. That's someone being safe.
Not having to use a leather belt to tie yourself to a pole or whatever happened at the end. Yeah.
They have 4 of these incredible technology machines that Bill was blown away Joe got done, but obviously once the guy's out of the picture, the woman gets it done. So then each tornado that comes, they try to test their technology, but like every amazing movie, we start with smaller tornadoes, they get bigger, there's action, there's adventure, and we eventually get to it working. After all their science failed attempts, they figured out what they had to do, and then they let it fly. They got all the data, and they're basically going to save millions and millions of lives. In the midst of all that, there's like an evil team that's sponsored by the corporations, Kate.
Corporate sponsors!
We hated corporations in 96.
Throwing them in the streets, corporate sponsors.
They stole their technology. They're trying to do the same stuff, but they don't have the gut instinct like Bill and Joe does. This is adventure. This is fun. This is a love affair as they find out that not only do they love chasing tornadoes, boy, do they love each other. This is funny. This is... what else do you want from a 1996 movie?
I don't know. It has it all, according to you. So... Wow.
So basically, if I wasn't drinking wine, is it not that good? Or
no, it's not bad. I just didn't have the love spark like you did. Bridget, you're kind of like Bill Paxton in this moment. You're really falling in love with the movie, and I don't know. Am I Melissa? I don't know who I am. I feel.
Maybe
I don't know.
Melissa.
I didn't hate the movie. I liked the movie. It's exciting. I remembered so many parts. Because I definitely remember watching this growing up. Although, the one scene, it's closer to the end when they're all at, the drive-in theater. And then they all, hide in a barn building and something. I didn't remember that at all. And I was like,
really?
This is crazy shit. And we are going to talk about how this movie not becoming a ride was a missed opportunity. So we'll pin that for later. But I remembered a lot of other parts, with the beginning scene. I remember with who I thought was grandma when I was little, but she's just Aunt
Meg.
I remember there being dogs. We gotta look out for the fucking dogs, and thank God all the dogs are okay. And yeah.
Yo, with the way the world is going, we better have people like Joe getting more and more advanced warning, because Wow.
Yeah. I do think we need to talk about the studios involved because I thought this, for whatever reason, blew my mind. Did you take note of the studios of this movie?
Nope.
Warner Brothers is the first one, probably the main one, and then Universal. Isn't that crazy?
Really?
And then Amblin Entertainment, which is like Steven Spielberg's smaller production company, and like he was partnered with Universal for many years. I just thought that was so interesting. I'm like, who would have this ride? Because I was very focused on how we can make this a ride. Where would we put it? Now I've got a battle between Six Flags Great Adventure and Universal Studios Florida, and I don't know who's going to do it better. Probably Universal.
Yeah, I was just going to say Universal, right?
I think so, but, you know, I do love Six Flags on the inside. So anyway, that was just a fun little tidbit. You don't see that often, but Bridge, we start off with trauma.
We understand why Jo is so passionate about her job.
I mean, she did almost sleep through the tornado, which, should she get her hearing checked? Because, like, girl, what?
She didn't seem to be scared. She just was...
No, she's like, anyway, just another Tuesday. Dad's flying out of the wooden door. Guys, why is it wooden? Come on.
I'll tell you this. I understand the haters are going to talk about how none of this is scientifically possible.
Oh my gosh.
Okay? And I get that. But I will tell you, it was awesome. And I think that the dad leaving, when this happened, and I forgot the beginning of this movie, I was like, holy shnikes. I forgot that we start off the movie with like an epic death.
Yeah.
Just kind of is jarring. And then Jo, as a little girl, who's what, like 7?
She seemed a little older, maybe like 8 or 9.
8 or 9. We immediately cut to going to work. A lifelong passion. Trying to get back to dad.
Okay. This movie was a 90s movie. Guys, there are some CGI moments. The tornadoes looked great.
Oh, I was just going to say, just to clarify, they looked amazing.
The tornadoes looked great. What didn't look great was anytime we had an explosion or a CGI from the 90s satellite in space. And I was like, guys, it looks so bad. We didn't even need that scene. You didn't even need it.
I agree.
You put it in there.
I agree.
Guys, it was bad.
I don't know how they did the CGI because I normally absolutely despise CGI. This looks great.
The tornadoes are great. Yeah.
I don't know how they did it.
And then, Bridge, tell me your thoughts on the music. Let me hear the I loves. Come on. I know they're in there.
I actually wasn't paying attention to the music.
Wow. So you're not going to see this movie with a live orchestra. That's what you're telling me? I gotcha. Okay.
Can you educate me on who... Did I watch this movie?
I took notice of the music because right when we cut to, you know, they're all adults and we're like, whatever, present day, it was like... It was like cowboy music. And I was like, wow. I didn't sing cowboy music just now, but it was cowboy music. And I was like, damn, what's going on?
Okay. I totally get that Bill shows up and they're like, Bill, you're back, buddy. And he's like, I'm not back. I'm just getting her to sign the divorce papers.
Oh my God, Bill. You're not convincing anyone.
First of all, then it takes you through. We got to talk about Phil Seymour Hoffman.
Dusty.
Alan Ruck? Are you kidding me?
Oh my God.
So, by the way, people, I could list names, but if you saw the faces, hit actor.
I was saying Bucket Hat Girl is a character actor I recognize.
Oh, so many character actors that just, wow. I don't know if they were famous then during this movie or they became famous. It was a great casting. And the best part of 1996 is every one of the crew members in this posse, the tornado chasing posse, has some like specific job function to the ultimate mission. And they all have the like weirdest technology ever. The lamest. Dusty has an actual TV in his car, and his entire job was trying to get the speaker to work. Okay. We have people that are like printing out on like paper
One
data
guy was
reports.
Just like a photographer, and I was like, "Are you even a scientist, sir?" Okay.
What? Literally a videographer. Then you have like the data people with old computers. You have really old phones.
Oh God, the antennas were long.
The satellites. Yes.
Did you see what Alan Ruck's character's job was? Because it's my nightmare.
Alan Ruck is
They'd be
our
like,
mother.
Katie, what road are we on? And I'd be like, turn left. Oh shit, we're in the tornado. Sorry. Okay.
I have the exact same anxiety as you, but it's always if I'm driving with James and he's like, "Hey, can we try to find like a nearby coffee shop?" And we're driving.
You're
Can't
like,
do
no,
it.
we can't.
I have all the technology. I can't do it. I can't tell you.
No way.
But Alan Ruck can. And
He sure can.
he makes a great point when he yells at one of his coworkers and says, "You can't fold the maps. You got to roll them because when you fold them, I can't see things."
Wow.
Can you imagine Gen Z saying, "Why is he holding maps?" Nobody knew.
For some reason, my brain went to the Goofy movie, and I was like, they folded their map. Did that fuck up their vacation?
Maybe.
Maybe. Anywho, yeah, so they all have a job, and Joe is like
They all have a job.
the leader, I guess. I don't know.
She's the doctor. She's the actual, scientist.
Okay. Yeah.
And gets grant money that funded building Dorothy. Kate, what's Dorothy?
Oh, how do I fucking, I don't know. What is it? It has, like, little balls that are sensors. They're supposed to fly in the tornado and, like, take data. Which I'm like, that's pretty creative.
Kate, give
to
some
think
goddamn
about.
respect to Twister, okay?
I literally just said it's creative. What more do you want from me, woman? Jesus Christ.
No, they said that everyone never gets close enough to a tornado to measure it, so they don't know how it works, so they have to get to the core. And this cool machine shoots off those little sensors in the core.
Yeah, which is cool. And, you know, Dorothy also went in a tornado, so I get it. I understand.
Yeah.
I understand. I think the second prototype they should just call Cow, because those also went up in the tornado a couple times, and they might be dead now. I don't know.
That was giving me Jumanji vibes.
You know, the CGI was similar, I will say. But I just like Bill Paxton being like, "Hey, future wife, come with me to my ex-wife."
Horrible.
To get papers. Who needs a lawyer? Am
Horrible.
I right? Well, here I go, myself. Who needs the mail? I was like,
This is what makes it so good. The technology's behind. There's paper. We have to drive to get the paper. It's so good. First of all, when I was a kid, okay, Melissa, the soon-to-be wife, okay, I thought she was a stick in the mud, the worst, annoying. Now as an adult,
Melissa's cool.
Pretty cool, pretty normal, and I was very proud of her to be like, I ain't marrying you. You're still in love with your ex-wife.
I was like, Melissa, A+ for setting healthy boundaries. Yes, cut that shit loose.
How annoying would it be as a therapist if then she like acted like an idiot? She didn't. She stuck true to her craft. It was perfect.
And she really was in the beginning. I was like, wow, Melissa's pretty like ride or die, because literally Bill's like, anyway, go hang out with Dusty. He's so weird. Deuces. I gotta go talk to my ex-wife. And she just does. And she's not complaining. She's like, I guess I will. Sure, I guess we'll go in your truck. Sure, let's go die almost 500 times. Sure. It's all sure.
She tried. Okay, she literally
did.
gave it.
She tried more than I would have tried, I think.
I think
honestly.
so too. I would have drove the other direction.
Take that truck, been like, deuces.
Have you ever seen a tornado?
No, not in real life.
When I went to Nashville, and I used to go there a lot for one of my jobs, we didn't see one, but we got the warning, and the sky turns like green.
Oh.
It is horrifying.
That's
and
so
all these
scary.
people I used to work with would tell stories that like when it comes down and it like hits the ground, it could just do that out of nowhere. And you're just like, it's not like that slow build up where it like swirls. I know that this movie is like fun and silly, but oof, I would pee my pants to see a real tornado.
I mean, in all honesty, everything I know about tornadoes, I learned from this movie. It's not a lot, which is not the movie's fault. It's my fault. But, like, it's very informative. I gotta say. It's a lot of science talk happening.
Well, and this is, I think, what I also loved is part of, like, my world, which you know is developing things. And so you have ideas and prototypes and then you test them. But when you test them in the real environment, you, like, learn what works and doesn't. And it was so cool seeing them test it and learn how to fix the thing to work.
Right.
Okay, so when they chase these tornadoes, we got Alan Ruck, aka GPS.
Yeah.
We have a radio system where everyone's talking to everyone. What does Dusty do? What does Philip Seymour Hoffman do?
Is he just the DJ?
Is he like the personality hire? Like, what do we do with him?
Is he someone's brother that they're like, we legally can't fire you? Your grandfathered in. I'm not sure, but Dusty is Philip Seymour Hoffman in a very non-traditional Philip Seymour Hoffman role. I don't even know how else to describe it. His name's Dusty. Just whatever comes to mind is correct.
Maybe
for
he's
character.
Just like the hype guy.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, he really was like, he was very like, wow, everything's great. You guys are awesome. Woo.
I just loved that the writing in this movie could have been like, we got a tornado, let's go. And instead, there was always a creative suggestion that the audience didn't know, but the storm chasers did. Where, Joe, we're at 65 miles in a tubular, habba-dibba-tubba-dabba-dubba, head northwest. And they all look at each other and say, it's go time.
And then it's like panic mode.
We don't know. We don't understand go time, but I loved it. And they made everything such fun adventure. So like the first tornado was a smaller one, right? It wasn't that big.
Yeah.
But they get basically like Bill starts to get into it, right? He's like, oh, okay, I'm not into it. And then he's like, oh shoot, you made the technology work? Oh shoot, now I was supposed to be a weatherman, but now I'm interested.
Yeah, but Bridge Bill also has tornado intuition.
Oh?
Did you know?
My God.
Is there psychics for weather?
What do you think his horoscope is?
Definitely. Oh my God, I want to say like Taurus, earth sign, right?
Oh, it's like feeling the earth?
Stubborn.
I could see Capricorn, definitely. You know, going after that fame. He's like, oh, you got your technology? Sure, I'll be back, and now I'll marry you.
But you know what? He didn't like the corporate sponsors like Jonas. And I think we should talk about Jonas. I think it's time.
Cary Elwes, you son of a bitch.
He's not wearing Saw makeup in this movie. Although I would argue his death is a little Saw-like. Because yes, his character dies, and it's pretty fucked.
Wait, it's 1996. These people are good looking. When he came on the screen, I was like, what a good looking man! I forgot, because you've been in all these like new movies where you look kind of like an old, tired, haggard acting coach, you know? Like but like, do you know what I'm saying? He always plays these roles where he's like angry and tired and not...
I feel like I think of him as like Princess Bride and Robin Hood Men in Tights.
I know, but I don't take him like seriously like he's hot.
Oh, okay.
Where in this movie I was like, oh, he's hot. Like, look at this guy.
But Bridge, he's a sellout because corporate sponsors, first of all. I mean, what's wrong with that? Like, I don't get it. Bridget, tell me the business. I
will tell you the business. What I understood is Joe does it the proper scientific way where you apply for grants and they're through like serious research places, not industry, like academia, for the purpose of like studying. But he goes around that and doesn't have to abide by like the academic reviews. And
so
he just
goes
gets
to
money.
like McDonald's.
Yeah.
And is like, McDonald's, I'll put your logo on my tornado machine if you give me money. Like,
he's basically
is it that corporate sponsor?
He's gonna have like a NASCAR looking tornado truck in the next couple years with Pepsi, with everything. That's what I understood, but this is also what makes it amazing. They hated corporate sponsors. That is so funny to me.
I laughed really hard at that.
And I think too that he stole their idea. He gets all the fame, all the video press, and he's always on TV and he's always like talking as the expert. But he doesn't know that much because he doesn't have Kate.
The tornado instinct.
That's right.
Psychic abilities. I also appreciated how the movie used the Melissa character as like, well, you don't know shit, so we're gonna explain everything. Yes. Very Harry Potter.
Yes.
She was Harry Potter. I needed a Harry Potter because I don't know anything. Thank you.
Thank you.
So that's how we get Jonas. I also thought it was funny too because I was like, they didn't get a patent for Dorothy, so now people just copy it, and that's bad business, Bridge.
I agree. They should have got a patent.
All right. I'm just saying.
Or maybe they do, and he just went with it anyways. And they don't have the legal fees to fight it.
That's even more. I feel like Melissa again. I don't know anything about it, so we're just gonna let it go. But basically, Bill is pissed at Jonas, and he's like, "You're a little bitch, sell out, and fuck off." But then we're all hanging out at the same diner.
Okay.
Because it's a lot of like, chase a tornado, and then hang out somewhere. Chase a tornado, hang out somewhere. So now we're hanging out at the diner.
The amount of times they could have signed these divorce papers. So many hangouts. Never signing. She is a master. And even gets called out by Melissa. What do you think of that call out?
I said, damn!
Oh, shit! What'd she say? Do we remember?
She says, like, you still love him, don't you? And then Joe's just, like, looks at her weird, and she's like, I understand. He's pretty great. And then Joe just keeps looking at her, and then it ends. And I was like, what?
Well, she kind of threatens her a little bit.
And then Bill, literally 2 seconds later, is like, all right, Melissa, deuces, drive by yourself. I am going with my wife.
I'd kill him.
Who is supposed to be my ex-wife, but she's still my wife, I think, legally. So, bye! And we just accept it. And
if you're gonna get married to someone and you're not in the skinny of like how these things go down, what are they talking about? What is the conversation like?
I don't know.
I thought when you were talking about chasing storms, it was a metaphor.
Oh, Melissa, bless her heart. She just didn't know what she didn't know, you know? I also love how when Joe finds out she's a therapist, Joe's like, is she yours?
I'm telling you, the dialogue, was there any line that you thought, that's ridiculous? Because I felt like it was all purposeful.
I mean, Dusty does say the suck zone a couple times. But the fact that it comes from Dusty makes it more believable. I will even allow that. You know? We'll allow it.
The finger of God.
Yeah, there was some, like,
you know, but besides those,
I
think the rest of it was pretty purposeful. And I was thinking that too. If I got a divorce, and then as I'm going to chase tornadoes, my future ex-husband shows up and tells me he's going to get married to a therapist, I mean, I would be like, was it yours?
I also want to know, like, what was the timeline of...
I know. I was dying for
divorce and dating. I want the tea. We need, like, an Andy Cohen post-Twister, like, special where all the characters get together and Dusty's just there for comic relief. He's just
R.I.P.
Oh, Dusty.
I feel like, though, that would have helped because in the time he had left, they built that technology, and she gives a little rub where she's like, well, you never finish anything.
Bitch.
Mm-hmm. And she's like, I did. I made 4 of them. He's like, what? She's like, once you left, I was able to get it all done.
Wait, and then literally this first big tornado, I didn't understand it. Katie didn't understand the logic. Was this part of the plan? Bill's driving Joe's truck. He slams it into a bridge, and then they run out and they hide under the bridge in the tornado.
They didn't want to slam into the bridge.
Okay.
They have to get close enough to the tornado to place Dorothy into the path and then leave. And when they were driving on the road, she goes, you got to get into the field. The tornado, you're going to be too far away. We're never going to make its path. So when he gets onto the field, they get on this little like bumpy bog. And then they're like, this isn't a road. What are we doing? We're screwed. And so they had to like get out because the bridge came in the way.
Yeah, that was scary. And also I was like, I hope you got car insurance, girl. Damn.
That and the car flips and they almost die, but then they get out and they're jazzed because they were like tornado lovers and they were in the middle of a tornado.
They are. They love their nados. Tell you what.
If you're not calling tornadoes nados, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Now I'm a NATO gal. What can I say?
I am definitely
Melissa
a NATO fan.
Almost dies because Joe's truck slams down in front of her, and she literally is so traumatized. And Bill's like, "Yeah, Melissa. Anyway, like, wasn't that cool?" And you're like, "Bill, oh my god,
he is the
worst." He starts
worst.
to go downhill from there.
He does try. I feel like he tries to comfort her, but I kept thinking these could have been signed and we could have left. We don't need to chase tornadoes right now. Bill, pay attention.
Yeah.
This is probably why he never finishes anything, because he can't focus. But they got the itch and they were like, damn, we lost one. We got 3 more Dorothys. And these storms in the last 50 years are all
it's like
the most
War of the Worlds
epic.
out here.
It's-
Jesus.
Oklahoma is bumping with NATOs, and the second one, the second one is
The next one is We've Got Cows.
yes.
And it breaks into 2 little NATOs. It's 2 for 1.
It's sisters. It's Twister sisters.
Wow, Twister Sisters! I was singing that song before. That was like so not a conscious thing. Anyway, yes, and this is awkward because it's Bill, Joe, and Melissa are all in the same car now. And Melissa is like talking, she's like talking on the phone with like all her clients. And I'm like, girl, what are your patient-therapist relationship? Everybody just calls you when they please? Like, it seems like not an emergency.
I can't imagine the telehealth charges for that one.
I was going to say, she better be charging. Come on.
Extra in an emergency situation, $200 an hour. Here's the thing. When they get stuck in this tornado, this is what I loved about this movie. Keep drinking. It's like a challenge. You have to get either like behind, like ahead of the tornado to the side of it. And the thing that was scary about this one is they were like, Bill, we're gonna get in the middle of it. We're not doing this right. What do we do? And it literally spins the car around.
Yeah.
But they don't die. They got excited with that one, and Melissa was screaming her head off and pretty much is traumatized for life for that.
Yeah, and instead of getting her help, they're like, anyway, we're going to Joe's aunt's house because she got steak and eggs.
I'm gonna tell you right now.
Let's fucking go.
If someone rolls up to my Oklahoma house with 12
unannounced,
people, unannounced, and somehow I'm able, because all they do is eat for 8 minutes, cook up 12 steaks, 200 eggs, and make fresh squeezed lemonade, are you out of your freaking mind? That's incredible.
It's
how does she do that?
It's like a goddamn diner. One of them even makes a comment like, how do you have so much steak? And I was like, you're not clever, movie, because there is no explanation. I know you tried, but there's really no answer.
She did have an answer. She was like, what do you think I got those cows for? I was like, damn.
Sam! Also, was her name Aunt May?
Meg.
Oh,
Aunt Meg.
Thank God. I thought it was Aunt May like Spider-Man, and I was going to flip a table. I was like, come on! We already have an Aunt May. Get out of here.
But every great movie has to have an old, wise, kind of like mystic, right? And she was like, listen, Joe, I think you guys are still in love. He's here. Don't give up. And then she was like, Bill always goes his own way, but you two are always going in the same direction. I'm like, old wise Aunt Meg.
Just like the sister NATOs and shit. I don't know. This is where we learn about the F scales with the tornadoes.
Wait.
And I was like, okay, this better not be on the test, because there's no way.
I was talking about that this morning with James, and it's the Fajut. Oh, no, I was going to screw it up.
What?
Fajuti? No.
Are you saying vagina in another language? Because that's exactly what it's
Fajuta
happening.
scale. Fujita.
I'm going to have to bleep that out. There's no way.
In our house, whenever we talk about fajitas, we call them vaginas.
Vaginas, yeah.
And so I was calling this the vagina scale. Which I think is way better than what it actually is called.
Oh my God.
But this is real, where the numbers go all the way up to 5, and thank God we got explained that in the breakfast table at Aunt Meg's.
And I love how Melissa is like, what about an F5? And they're all like, duh! Melissa! How dare you? How dare you ask? And I was like, what? Why can't she ask about it? You guys are so dramatic. And then that's where they're like, only one of us is seated at F5. And it was Joe, and her dad died, guys. Like, she's subject.
They're so serious about their jobs that I was dying laughing at that point. Oh my God.
It's just So ridiculous. And
so
pretty
ridiculous.
quickly then, they leave because there's another NATO we gotta go get. And in this one, they drive through a cornfield.
Yeah.
Do we just run through crops and nobody complains? Is there local police?
This is
like,
this.
I understand tornadoes are killing everyone, but also, guys, farmers got a farm. Am I right?
Listen,
I'm just
say
saying.
it once, I'll say it again. This was a great movie because they didn't
My
have
God.
to abide by the laws of driving. There's no.
They just went where they wanted.
They went where they wanted. They blew through stop signs. They went through cornfields. They went around dirt. They did whatever they wanted. It was so fun. It was like Fast and Furious with tornadoes.
This part was fucking Fast and Furious because when they finally get to a road, Jonas and all his little bitches are there. And by the way, we didn't mention this. Jonas and all of his crew members have like matching cars.
Wow.
Like they're the fucking Men in Black or some shit. And I died. I was like, is that the corporate sponsors? Like, who's sponsoring those cars?
I'm pretty sure they were also wearing Nike. I mean, just universal fit.
My God,
incredible.
not that. Chewing Doublemint gum. Oh, God. My Jesus Christ.
With Gatorades. Here's the thing. This is as I was expressing my love for this movie at breakfast this morning, James was like, listen, this movie's cool, but there was a really cheesy part. And he tells this story that he was in college, he saw someone watching this movie, and didn't know any context, and it was the scene where they come out of the cornfields and almost run into them. And he goes, oh, let me guess, is that like the evil guys and they're like fighting or whatever? And the person watching it was like, yes. He's like, this movie's stupid. And that's what he told me this morning. And then the rest of the day I've been talking about how great it is and how he's wrong. Okay?
Well, your PowerPoint's coming together well.
Thank
I gotta
you.
say.
Thank you.
This is the tornado where it's Bill and Joe
Yes.
alone. I don't know where the heck Melissa is. Who knows? Who cares, right?
Well,
Anyway.
she could hear the radio.
She
Yikes.
hears the radio and it gets drama because Joe wants to like pick up all the little ball sensors. They like fell over some shit, like a tree hit the thing or something. And she's like, we gotta pick him up. And he's like, no, Joe, we can't die. You don't kill yourself. He goes, killing yourself won't bring your dad back. What does this have to do with dads, Bill? You just went from a 0 to 100.
Wait.
Damn.
No, he made a point, Kate. She
Bridget!
kept putting herself in these really dangerous situations, and he kept the first tornado, she tried to go back out and see it. He had to pull her away. The second one, she also was like really into it. He had to pull her away. And this one, she wanted to keep going. He's like, we are going to get killed by a tornado. So she lived this kind of like little too risky life.
Well, he is right that her dad is not in the tornado. I don't think. Unless this is a sci-fi movie.
Well, wait, I want to read the line.
Oh, please do.
Gotta stop living in the past and look what you got right in front of you, Joe. What are you saying? Me, Joe. Me.
He says it just like that, by the way. And
I
read
it. Melissa is feeling awky.
Melissa's standing in the fucking rain/hail next to Dusty, and this is the shit she has to hear. What a horrible day.
I'd walk away. I'd walk
She
off.
kind of does. A little.
I think I would head back to Aunt Meg's, take a shower, be on my way.
Well, you don't want to be at Aunt Meg's for too long, because
oh yeah, that's right.
So some shit goes down. But they then go to, this is the drive-in movie, and it's like a motel, is where they're all hanging out.
Yeah.
And it's
Getting
coffees.
Yeah, it's bad.
And this tornado is fucking for real. And Dusty is like, oh, it's coming right for us right now! Because I don't know what job I have, but I guess it's to alert everyone.
Oh, God,
and I just told you. Oh my God.
Wow.
Somehow no one dies. This was the part where I was like, this could be a ride. You get everybody in a room. We gotta like huddle together. Shit's flying all over. Avoid the metal scraps flying at your face. I mean, I can see it.
Well, this was when the movie came out and they were like hyping the trailer. The drive-in theater is playing The Shining.
Yeah.
And it's right as Jack is like trying to open the door in the movie, and then the tornado just rips away the screen like it's ripping the door of The Shining! I mean, whoever did that, chef's kiss. It was beautiful.
It was something. Yeah.
I would be very, very, very scared. These tornado chasers got some I wanted to say balls, but I wanted to think of something better. But I couldn't do this. This is terrifying.
It's so scary. And again, somehow nobody dies.
Nobody dies.
I don't know. And then after this, Melissa, in literally the most mature, polite breakup I've ever seen in my life, is like, I'm done.
Yeah.
Bye, Bill. It's been real. Like, deuces forever.
I
was like, good for you, Melissa.
I will have my people call your people. We will cancel the wedding invites. I think we're good. Enjoy.
She's like, I will keep the engagement ring. It's for me.
I liked that.
Yep.
I think that's the least he could do. My God.
And we don't really have time to be sad or any feelings about that, because then literally a second later, they're like, oh my God, the tornado went to Aunt Meg's town. And then Aunt Meg is like in our own disaster film movie. My God.
That house fell on top of her. She had a bookshelf that was pinning her.
How is she alive?
But you know who saves her, Kate? Who saves her? The dog!
Yeah. Oh, the dog! I was like, Bill Paxton, the dog. I'm always worried about the dogs. And in the opening scene, I was real worried about that dog.
But he was fine. He made it too.
Everyone makes it out okay, because I would have wrote a letter if not.
Helen Hunt is so badass, okay? She just flies back there. She runs into the house. She's not afraid, Kate. She's not afraid of anything. Helen Hunt ain't afraid of no ghosts. She gets in there. She saves Aunt Meg, gets her out. Right as they get out, the house collapses.
Yeah.
Incredible.
And then Aunt Meg was like, they only gave us a couple seconds of warning.
My heart.
Jesus. Like, I kind of would like to, I don't know, this was the 90s. Like, is that true with the timing of the warnings?
We are two girls from Jersey. I know nothing.
Yeah, like, I'm sure it was, or at least was close. But that is really scary. And as a kid, never registered that line. But now as an adult, I was like, holy shit. Like, I can't even, like, I don't know, open my mouth in 2 seconds or some shit. And I'm supposed to get out of my house and be alive? No way.
I mean, I'm now Googling, like, what was the timing?
Yeah.
I don't...
Well, as you Google that, I will let us all know that this is the part of the movie that I lovingly call craft time. Because we all have an epiphany that the problem with Dorothy and our little censors is they can't be balls, Bridge. They must be Scoopy, like, wind chime things.
They're the Harry Potter golden...
Oh, the snitch.
The snitch.
Yeah, okay. And so they just, like, DIY some shit, and duct tape and soda cans is all you need for science, I guess.
This was all inspired by Aunt Meg's artwork.
Could you argue that they kind of used a corporate sponsor with Pepsi, too?
You really could. You really could. Okay. If anything, I hope Pepsi sponsored them after the fact.
You know what?
Where did they get all those sodas from? But that's besides the point.
Reddit thread. Yeah. And now, it's the big one. It's an F5. Which
it's
is
a vagina 5.
A vagina 5. We must get it. And oh God, Bridge, this doesn't turn out well for Jonas. At fucking all. I'm sorry. This was definitely before Final Destination. This literally was the log Final Destination scene.
Really?
I mean, basically, where I
don't watch those movies.
What? Where a giant beam goes through the windshield and kills the driver, like, aggressively. And I was like, this is fucked up. And then they get sucked in the tornado and they explode CGI.
But, yes, all of those things. But Bill and Helen Hunt tried to stop him. They said, listen, the tornado...
Suck zone? Nope. I'm sorry. What?
What's on the test?
I'm sweating.
He was sharing the tornado instinct.
Oh.
And he's like, hey, it's gonna cut. It's gonna cut. You gotta get it. And he's like, I'm not listening to you. You're my enemy. That's sad. But it was so cool. Because then they're like, all right, we made our little snitches. We realized it needs it's too light. It needs to have a heavier thing. So then they're flying through the road as giant trucks are being thrown out the goddamn sky, Kate.
If I had one job of this crew, I would want my job to be the person that just yells and names whatever is in front of us, because that's like what Joe is doing. And I was like, do we need to be doing that? Like, she'd be like, cow, house, truck, tree. I was like, is this for science, or what is this for? Okay.
I want to be, I'm going to follow this logic. You and I work for the Cruisin' USA people who make that game. and you can click Tokyo, Chicago, New York.
God.
I'm clicking Oklahoma category Vegeta 5 Twister.
Whoa!
Can you imagine driving that?
Wait, that would be so fun.
I know!
Oh my God. But trademark. That's our idea. Corporate sponsors, get out of here.
Cary Elwes is gonna steal it.
Cary Elwes, get your fucking face out.
But then they're like, listen, this is it. This is our last shot. It's the last Dorothy. It's the biggest tornado in the last 50 years. This is it. This is the only shot. Kate, you're yawning. Kate, this is a seriously impactful movie.
I'm so serious right now.
So they do things that don't exist, which is cruise control, but they don't press the pedal. That's not how that works, but we made that work.
Is that driving? Okay.
And they just let the truck drive in, and it's bolted to the truck, so the truck has weight, and the snitches just fly into the tornado. Wasn't it beautiful? Did you cry?
Oh, I didn't personally, but it was nice to see. Good for them. Good for you, sweetie. It was one of those.
But we were there. We didn't realize we needed to fix the balls, and then we needed to make it heavier. It was so cool. Then they needed the biggest tornado. Like, it was all this slowly continuous improvement.
Yeah.
That's a second yawn, Kate.
I'm
I need
sorry,
you to get it
it's
together.
Not you, it's me. Well, they don't have a lot of time to celebrate because then the tornado's like, yum.
We're gonna kill you.
Little people, let me come get them. And they run to a local, farm. There's horses. Somehow the horses survive. I'm not really sure about that one, but fine. And this is where they tie themselves to pipes. And that's all you need.
How did they know to do that?
Bill said that the pipes are 30 feet down. So he was like, it'll work. And
that leather belt
did.
That leather belt was strong.
What's that? Or was that a horse's stirrup?
That was a horse's stirrup.
Oh, okay. That makes more sense than a horse's belt.
So, we see the coolest scene ever, which is the tornado rips through them, and they're literally in the core, flying in the air. But they survive. It's done. They survive. They're in love. They have breakthrough science. They're going to save millions of lives. What's a better ending? Name a better ending. Name it.
They make out in front of their friends.
Exactly. Name a better ending.
Nobody die. Well, except Jonas. But, yeah. Wow. Well, Bridget. I think we know the answer, but I'll ask it anyway. Would you watch or don't watch?
I'm going to watch it again tonight. I'm going to do
it.
it.
Bridget's going to be a scientist. You guys. Bridget, when you come visit, are you going to bring, a Dorothy prototype? And be like, Kitty, just get in this truck with me. It's not weird. Come on.
I think, you know how people say you, turn into your parents as you get older? Is this, my Lake Placid? Is this, I'm turning into dad? And I'm like, this is the best movie ever.
I mean, there could be worse movies that you do that with, so...
True. Kate,
that's not bad.
Would you watch it or don't watch it?
I would watch it.
That's right. That's right.
Wow, I'm not pressured. I would watch it. I think it's very fun. It's funny. It's entertaining. There is science. Do you like science? Are you a Bill Nye the Science Guy fan? Get in here. Come on, kids. And it's not too scary unless maybe you, had a bad tornado experience. Then trigger warning, because...
Yeah, then it's not good. Don't do that.
Yeah. Well, big shout out to Jolie for recommending Twister. And last episode, I couldn't open our email, which was a me problem. And I was like, oh, sorry, Julie, I can't read what you wrote for your submission. Don't worry, I have it open. And Julie, her submission is blank, and the movie request says Twister, and it's a picture of a twister and a cow. So Julie, love you, and hope you liked it.
Kate, is it that time? Is it my time?
It is, yeah.
I'm doing a listener pick.
Wow.
This listener pick had told us that it's a 30th anniversary.
Wait, does that mean it's from 1993?
It is from 1993.
It's the best year for movies! Wow.
Hey, sisters, I have to suggest the 1993 classic, bloop, I'll tell you in a bit. Oh. It celebrated its 30th anniversary. Hard to describe the appeal of this offbeat classic. But let me tell you the high points. Quentin Tarantino is the writer. Director Tony Scott. Score Hans Zimmer. Cast? Holy cow, the cast. Let me list them off. Christian Slater, Patricia Arquette, Dennis Hopper, Val Kilmer, a near unrecognizable Gary Oldman, a very young Brad Pitt, Christopher Walken, Scene Stealer, Bronston Pinchot, I'm mixing that up, Michael Rappaport, Saul Rubick, James Gandolfini, Tom Sizemore, Samuel L. Jackson, and Chris Penn. Bring your listeners to this unappreciated early 90s classic from
this
James.
Oh my God, Bridget, I literally was going to be like, who is this fucking listener writing this novel?
This is my husband, and listeners, I know you're on the list and you're like, this is not fair, you keep picking your husband. Do you know how many things he submits? I love this man for doing it, and we gotta give him some goddamn respect. Kate, the movie is True Romance.
Oh, I've never seen this.
Me either.
Oh, right.
A double-blind study.
What is it about?
I know nothing about it.
Did you already read what it's about? Oh, okay. I didn't know in all those words in there was
I know
stuff,
nothing about it. I just know he wrote this most beautiful movie request ever.
Oh, wait.
I
got a one sentence. In Detroit, a pop culture nerd steals cocaine from his new wife's pimp, oh my, and tries to sell it in Hollywood, prompting the mobsters who own the drugs to pursue the couple. Okay.
I understand James Gandolfini.
Crime, drama, romance. I was gonna say, where's the fucking romance? But I guess it's in there.
Maybe it's with cocaine.
Wow. Christian Slater. Have we done a movie with him?
We have not, and I loved him.
And Patricia Arquette. She's great too.
I mean, Val Kilmer. There's just so...
And Val Kilmer! And everyone else! Oh God, Dennis Hopper. Jesus Christ.
So, Kate... We did it.
Woo!
We did it. And, do you want to kick it off, or should I attempt to?
Well, Bridge, I'll kick it off. If you really did show up in 2 weeks when you're going to come visit with, a Dorothy machine and lots of Coke cans, and you were like, we gotta do this, Katie. It's DIY time. We're selling them on Etsy. Let's do it. I would help you. I would get in the truck. I would politely decline to be the map person. I would like to be the person talking on the walkie-talkie about what's in front of our car. And you can drive. And I would do that for you, because I love you.
Oh, you would do that for me?
Yeah, I would participate in the nonsense with you. Yes, that is for you.
That's sweet. I thought you just wanted to yell debris.
Jeez.
Kate,
Bridge.
If I just so happened to get a new job working for Cruise in USA, and they were like, what do we do? I will play this and say, there's this really incredible person who came up with this concept. We should pay them millions of dollars, and I would like them to record their voice screaming debris as part of a video game. I would do that for you.
Wow! Guys, wouldn't you love to play that level of Cruise and Exotica? Come on.
God.
Come on.
Just hit F5. Oh, God.
And then the
awesome.
tornado. Whoosh. Oh, my God. Yeah, are there tornado video games? Anyway, we're going to look into that. Listeners, if you also think that, as quote Bridget, this movie's great, or whatever you said a lot of times, I don't know, along those lines.
It is great.
It is great. Yes. If you think that, and if you think that, I don't know. I mean, did Cary Elwes, is anyone sad that he's dead?
I don't know.
Movie?
I don't think they were.
They
sad.
seemed a little disappointed, but then they were like, anywho, let's move on. So if that was weird, you thought, and if you think that people do need more warning time for tornadoes, because, I can't do anything in 2 seconds at all.
No.
All right. So, that's not fair for Aunt Meg and her dog. And if you agree with that, you should write us a review.
Hey!
We love reviews. We love written reviews. You can review us on Apple Podcasts, along with some other podcasting apps. We also have a website, sisterswhoseenit.com. On our website, you can request a movie. So there is a form you can fill out. This movie, Twister, was recommended by Julie. And our next movie, True Romance, was recommended by James. And they both went on the website, filled out the form, went on the list, and got picked from the list. Hey! It could be you, so check that out. And Bridge, what else can they do on our website?
They can buy us coffee, which is money that will fund the grant to make Dorothy that I could bring to New Jersey to Katie.
I'll get the Pepsi cans. I'm ready.
We'll also
get corporate sponsors.
If we get the corporate sponsors, we will put the merchandise on our website that you could buy to look like us as we chase tornadoes.
Whatever it takes. Yeah, absolutely.
Check it out. Go buy it. Go buy the stuff.
Yes, so check all that out, listeners. And we hope to hear from you. All right. Well, we'll see y'all next week for True Romance.
Woo!
I have no lines.
No
But
lines. No nothing about it.
we still got cows, so.
We'll figure it out.
We
Listen,
will.
enjoy your twisters. Love you. Check out the movie. It's the best.
Love you.
Love you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. I love
Bye,
you.
Joe. I love you, Helen Hunt. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to Sisters Who've Seen It. You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Check out our website at sisterswho'veseenit.com, where you can email us, request movies to be reviewed, and keep up to date with all things sisters. Also, make sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. See you next week.